Hi, this is Chelsea Bundy, and today I'm going to talk to you about gender-neutral parenting. So I recently read something online that was talking about gender-neutral parenting, what it entails, some myths about that, so I just want to share that with you today. So when a baby's born, the doctor looks at the baby, they tell the parents the sex, and they rush to go get the appropriate colors for baby blankets and stuff. And this shouldn't be a thing. We shouldn't be coloring blankets and baby caps, because what if that baby doesn't decide to adhere to the sex that they're given at birth? So I think that it should be much more neutral. It should become much more neutral. You can get any color you want. We need to stop associating colors with genders. So gender-neutral parenting, or for abbreviation it's called GNP, is the desire to not pigeonhole a child into a specific gender based solely on their biological sex. Some background on gender neutralism is that gender is a continuum, and there's not solely male and female, but there's all genders in between. It's not one or the other. You can be one gender one day and another gender the next day. You don't have to always adhere to a specific gender and keep that specific role. Or if you associate with one specific gender and you identify yourself as that, that's fine, but you shouldn't have to adhere to the products that are marketed towards males or females or boys or girls, anything like that. There shouldn't be a line, and I think that there tends to be a line, especially with children's toys. So, gender-neutral parenting encourages kids not to, if they're born as a boy, to only play with girls' toys. It encourages them to play with toys for any and all genders. So, now some myths about gender-neutral parenting. The first myth is that gender-neutral parenting tries to abolish gender completely and make children androgynous, which means you don't adhere to a gender. But that's not true. Like I said, the point is not to force a norm onto a child and let them figure out their way through life in making their own choices, in doing what they want to do, in subscribing to what they want to subscribe, and you're just giving them all of the options possible that they could ever use and that they could ever want. The second myth is that gender-neutral parenting will make your kid gay. No, that's ridiculous, because gender and sexuality are two completely separate things. So no matter what you want to say, if you're giving a kid the opposite gender's toys, you are not going to change their sexuality, because their sexuality is something that is in them and that is disassociated with their gender completely. You can't make someone gay, you can't change somebody's gender. These are separate things. The third myth is that gender-neutral parenting is anti-feminine or anti-masculine, kind of going back to what I was talking about before. It is about being diverse. It's not about having a girl and never putting them in pink dresses. That's not, it encourages pink dresses, but it also encourages that girl to wear jeans too, and to wear a boy's shirt if they want to. It's about not limiting gender expression, and you just want any expression that that kid wants to use and not only limit them to one thing. We want to expose kids to a wide range of gender types and give them the freedom to explore without judgment. And if a kid sees something like a girl only wearing dresses or something like that, it's not telling them to put that other person down. It's telling them to open a dialogue with their parents about what gender is, why girls tend to play with dolls and boys tend to play with trucks, and to try to reverse that so in the future it's not a stigma that we impose upon people, that we impose upon society and impose upon our children. The fourth myth is that gender-neutral parenting is only for trans kids. So some people think that when you parent a gender-neutral child, it's only for kids who have displayed a disconnect with their biological sex and with their gender, but that's not true. All kids should be raised with this, even if you're not disassociating your sex and gender. It is just kids expressing themselves. It's not just the kids who want to bend their gender. Even cis kids, which means they present as the gender of the sex that they were given as birth, or kids who are stereotypically female or stereotypically masculine, benefit from a gender-neutral environment. And it will make them question, when they go out into the world as adults, how gender is just this thing that people put on and choose to express, when we should all be neutral about it and understand that gender is a continuum. The fifth myth is that gender-neutral parenting is a social experiment. Everything we do and say to our kids is teaching our kids about the world. So nothing's an experiment, it's all exposing kids to different things and teaching kids about different things. And traditional parenting techniques try to mold kids to fit a certain look or to fit a certain definition of what they should be. Like girls are taught to wear boys and to nurture others and to be emotional, and boys are taught that they need to play sports and they need to be tough and they need to not cry and make money. And this is all things that society is imposing upon people, imposing upon other people and themselves. And they're traditional norms that just need to be eradicated completely. So with gender-neutral parenting, it's raising a kid to be neutral, to ask critical questions, to understand that everybody is equal, and to know the benefits of knowing what gender is, what their gender is or isn't, and understanding this continuum that you don't need to be one thing, you can be anything that you want. So that's why gender-neutral parenting is beneficial and is something that should be used from now on.